Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 46, Trial by Fire Part 2. As the blaze rages out of control, Belle awakens and sees two shadowy figures amongst the dancing sea of flame. It's almost here, Sonic the Hedgehog Imposter Syndrome. Look forward to it next month, won't you? As Belle fully awakens, she also notices that her hand is kind of on fire from the lighter, but the Motobug who had surprised her earlier puts it out very handedly. It was pointed out to me that this is actually the same Motobug that Mr. Tinkerer had created, the one that could make hedges in the shape of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's such a deep cut, I had completely forgotten about that Motobug. But whereas Belle is glad that she doesn't have to fight a badnik, basically, she does kind of think that maybe she had a hand in starting this blaze. It's then that Tangle manages to catch up with her, and thankfully is stopped by Belle from doing what Sonic characters do best, and that's smashing badniks. Belle vouches for this one who seems to have his wires just a little crossed. And Tangle also uses some of her sports wrapping tape, I love it, to kind of wrap up Belle's hand for the most part that's been damaged. You gotta love the fact that, despite the fact that Belle, can't really feel to a certain degree, Tangle still shows care and concern for her friend. Meanwhile, back at the campsite, Amy and Jewel are trying their best to coordinate with the ranger, who says that with the overcrowding of the campgrounds, the one passage in and out will easily get congested if people panic too quickly. And with the blaze quickly approaching them, that will just lead to even more problems than before. And things get even worse as a not Uncle Chuck hedgehog starts to get very belligerent, demanding that the gates be opened so that the people can go flooding out to safety, as it were. And he even tries to suggest that the ranger's son might have had something to do with this fire that was started. But Amy has had enough of the belligerence and the disrespect of not just the old hedgehog, but some of the unrest that is building amongst the people. So she gets their attention in the best way she can. But not really having much of a plan to go off of, gives the spotlight to Jewel, who, of course, is the best at organization. Unfortunately, Jewel has been doubting herself more and more lately, feeling that after the metal virus, Eggman's attack, the Zeddy invasion, and even her inability to help out Tangle through her own personal problems has really started to make it so that Jewel starts to feel a little bit of doubt in her abilities, which is understandable. And Amy kind of points out that Jewel is very new to this position, but she has a talent for this. Yes, there's always going to be setbacks here and there, but that doesn't mean that she should just give up when things look bad. Jewel just has to have a little faith, and I really gotta say, I love the artwork in this issue. Evan Stanley constantly bringing that A game. Although it's not just Evan Stanley doing art for this issue. The second half, once we get back to Tangle and Belle, is done by Adam Bryce Thomas, but is a double dose of great artists in terms of Sonic the Hedgehog. And so with this little pep talk, Jewel is able to come up with a competent plan to get people as organized as possible, having those who have high capacity vehicles take the women and children to safety. Well, the children and elders, I should say, and every able-bodied person doing what they can to mitigate the blaze by digging trenches and things that'll slow the fire. Meanwhile, while all that's going on, Tangle's starting to feel a little bit of the fatigue of having so much smoke that she's breathing in, which, be very careful around fires and smoke. Lung damage can happen and it can be very severe. So always try to stay as low as possible if you're near a fire. But as Tangle and Belle try to make their way out, they spot the Ranger's kid Ash as well as his Wisp huddling for safety. In a desperate bid to save the kid, Belle and Tangle jump on the kind motobug, and using Belle's special hind leg kicking ability, they try to jump the gap, much like Homer Simpson in that one episode that always gets referenced. And though it seems like they're not gonna make it, thanks to Tangle's tail, they manage to clear the gap in no time flat. But the boy is very frightened, having seen something that put him very panicked and afraid. But we find out something that I've been wondering for the longest time, what Belle's nose do though. And that's it honks, much like a clown nose. I had always wondered about the big nose on Belle and if it had any kind of significance, especially since her initial design was more like a mouse. But it makes so much sense that Mr. Tinker would do something like that in order to make her kind of fun and friendly to kids. But when Belle asks the boy about when the fire started, he does his best to defend his Wisp red hot, saying that it was two people who started the blaze, specifically a lady with big spikes who was able to summon down lightning and start the fire. The same mysterious figures that Belle had previously seen earlier in the issue. Who are these two menaces? What are they after? And why did they choose here to create such chaos and anarchy? Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications for when Sonic the Hedgehog Imposter Syndrome reveals their secret. Although I do like the fact that ultimately neither Belle nor Ash were responsible for the fire, as that would have been way too much guilt, especially for Belle and everything that she's been going through. But as Ash guides them to the riverside, which should take them back to the campgrounds, unfortunately a falling tree almost manages to crush Belle, Ash, and Red Hot. But thanks to Tangle jumping into the fray, they're able to be pushed to safety. Unfortunately, that safety is dangling on the edge of a cliff. And while this would make an awesome cliffhanger, it goes one step beyond that as the whole cliffside starts to crumble down, sending everyone plummeting into the gorge and the river below. Will our heroes make it out of this blazing inferno? Find out next time. I have to admit, this is starting to get really exciting, mostly because of the inclusion of the two newest characters who will be somewhat helming their own storyline. And it leaves me curious as to how connected that story will be with this. If their appearance was simply just a glimpse, or is it going to be something that is put at the forefront going forward? And were they targeting Belle specifically? Yes, there's a lot of questions moving forward, but I really enjoyed this issue. It's great to see Jewel get her groove back, as it were, because yes, the company that she's inherited has come with a lot of baggage, and I can see why she might be feeling a little bit frazzled with everything that's been going on left, right, center ever since she took over the restoration. But I don't want her to lose faith. I think Jewel is very competent, and I like that Jewel and Tangle have some things to hash out about their relationship. I'm also hoping that this trip ends up helping to empower Belle to some degree and help her get her confidence back as well. But the shining star of this story has been Amy, who has been a beacon of light amongst a lot of the despair the other girls have been going through. And that really is the highlight. Amy's personality. What makes her tick, why she's such an amazing character, and a good friend to a lot of the people around her. I think it's a fabulous direction to go in, and I can't wait to see where Evan takes us next. But before we see what happens there, again, because I have to keep reminding and shilling this, Imposter Syndrome is coming up soon, and it'll be here before you know it. It's only a couple of weeks away, so stay posted and stay informed because you don't want to miss out on this brand new miniseries that has had a lot of hype and fanfare building around it. With Ian Flynn at the helm of yet another book, this one's definitely sure to please. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. What theories do you have about our mysterious new enemies? What do they want? What are they after? Where did they go? Where did they come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I can't wait to hear from you. And again, like, comment, subscribe, bell, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.